Well, hello again, everyone. It's Nick Michalak, Steve Frazier,
Hello, hello.
Trent Zuberi,
Hola.
and we're doing Back to the Future Part 2 today, guys, because if you haven't listened to our original Back to the Future commentary, you're missing out on some great stuff. And we're going to be syncing this up as an audio-only podcast here to the film, so hit your timestamp to 0. I'll give you a countdown here. And in 3, 2, 1, play.
Take me back to 1989, the greatest year in the history of all years.
Yet again, we've been here quite a few times.
I know. And I think I probably say that every time.
And this is, with Lethal Weapon 2, one of the best things we've done from that year.
And Halloween 5, one of the worst things we've ever done from there.
Have they ever made that Universal logo in HD now? Because it is really grainy. Have they fixed that Universal
I
logo?
think so. Oh, yeah. It's super fancy now with the...
They've done a completely new version of it.
My birthday, October 26th. That's why I always had a connection.
Try that
with
again?
movie.
Take two.
Take two. I've always had a connection with this movie because it was on my birthday. Affinity? Was it word I'm looking for? Yes.
Yes, Affinity.
I almost had Affliction, like those cheesy freaking t-shirts.
Is your
Enter
lady?
my childhood love, Elisabeth Shue.
There she is.
What a hot run she was on here, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, because what you do.
Well,
Karate Kid.
Babysitting also?
Adventures in Babysitting is like
Yeah.
my favorite movie
Yeah.
of all time.
But she's
Not true,
more or
but-
less kind of started her spark with Karate Kid, which she's fabulous in.
Right, and then she did Cocktail with Tom Cruise, and then she was in this. This might have been first, actually. And then Cocktail, which is an absolute gem.
Quick sidebar. Anybody watched Cobra Kai yet? It's fantastic.
No.
The Karate Kid thing? Yeah.
I've heard good things.
It's great. Anyway, back to this.
We haven't talked about Back to the Future yet.
Yeah, so obviously
We're just picking up at the end of part one here.
yeah. Mostly we shot. I think there's a few shots of Lloyd here that are just reused like this or something. But
The Mr.
The
Fusion.
appearance of Mr. Fusion.
I think Chloe Wells had to leave because she was taking care of a sick family member or whatnot. So
Is that what it was?
yeah, I believe that was the case. So they brought in Liz Shue.
Be still my heart.
The quality is looking really nice here. It's really
Yeah,
bright.
yeah. We got the
Yes.
Blu-ray in
Yeah.
from the Trilogy.
You really had to age. You can really see the makeup
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Christopher Lloyd here really well.
Yeah.
But at least they explain it away on the other side of the credits.
And one of the most famous lines of the movie here.
I mean, that's one of top 50 probably of
Yeah.
all
Of
time.
all time.
All
yeah,
time.
You're
Yeah.
right.
And this guy.
Freaking
I mean,
Biff.
So here's the rub, right? Like,
Yeah.
I
you know.
never paid attention to him saying, "I wanted to show you these matchbooks for my auto detailing company."
remember when matchbooks were a thing? We
Yeah.
talked about this in our Halloween commentary.
Yeah.
People loved matchbooks.
I remember I had people who collected matchbooks.
Well, because it was advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
So
we are off.
that's the crux of the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Biff accidentally saw them take off.
Yeah.
And so, had that not happened, like in the first one, then we would not have any story for this one.
Likely, yeah.
I mean,
I think their intention
That's-
is that it threads through when he sees him in the future and everything, and gets intrigued by it because it's been 30 years since he saw a flying DeLorean,
right.
which was anachronistic at the time.
We're still waiting for that to happen in real life, right? I mean, I'm still holding on to it.
Are we?
One day, one day it'll happen.
Flying DeLoreans.
Flying DeLoreans.
Or flying anything, really.
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for it.
That's the beauty of this, is that they take us to 2015, which at the time seemed so far in the future,
Yeah.
and
We're still waiting for it.
we're 2015 kind of came along, and
Didn't seem...
it was Dean Cundy,
Yeah.
our old friend. He was Kathleen Kennedy,
These
my old
three right
friend.
here.
And a lot of references to Back to the Future 2 happened in 2015.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was the
One in particular that we'll get to in a little while that still sticks in my craw, but that's all right.
And here we are.
It sure didn't look anything like this.
No.
Like, holy Christ.
The Skyway I've been on, Indiana, looks nothing like this.
I mean, Indiana is the worst state in the union. So, I mean, you can make comparisons, but
The armpit of America, Indiana.
when are we such a good line?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Now we're back. We're not on my birthday anymore here.
No.
No.
We're back
No.
in a few days. 2015. I just like. I remember 2015. There was such a letdown compared to this movie.
Yeah, because you probably remember your birthday that year.
Yeah, it was a good year. It was a good year for my birthday, but it wasn't anything like this. I wasn't flying around in a DeLorean or on a hoverboard or with shoes that laced themselves.
Elisabeth Shue is pretty good, and maybe
Her facial reaction.
Yeah, at the wide-eyed,
Mhm.
I can't believe what's happening.
Wow. Oh gosh, she's getting a little too.
And all of a sudden, so that's where the Independence Day gimmick came from, right? They stole it right out of
I mean, Men in Black.
Men in Black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I get them confused because
She's out.
they're the same movie. Yeah, the Men in Black gimmick.
Maybe.
They just ripped it right off here from old Doc Brown.
Doc Brown was ahead of his time, man. When the time machines do get invented, eventually, Doc Brown's going to be considered a legend.
I can't imagine the first time machine not being named after Doc Brown.
It's called the Doc.
Yeah.
The Doc Brown.
Yeah, Doc Brown
The
time
Emmett.
machine.
I took
I
the
mean-
Doc Brown to save so and so's life.
I don't. It would be an injustice if it wasn't.
It's true.
I love the barcodes for license plates. I think
That's
that's
nice,
super
isn't it?
cool.
That I can see that actually happening.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like
Although
that's something I can see happening for sure.
it
Surprised
makes
it hasn't happened.
it makes it very hard to identify though.
True.
Like
But the ones they have a scanner, nice identify. But yeah, then I can't identify.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Like I
Cop
caught
cars
that
would
license
have a
plate.
scanner that would
Yeah.
just identify
right,
it right
I
on
feel
the
like
bumper.
it would be letters and numbers and the
Yeah.
barcode underneath
Right,
Maybe,
right, right.
that correspond.
Yes, yeah,
and
that makes
and I
sense.
think that why haven't we done that yet?
Yeah. Right on the tick. Fusion Industries. Mr. Fusion. That
And there's
tie-in.
some laser discs or something.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
My
What the
laser
hell was
disc.
that?
yeah.
I have a laser.
I was
disc.
gonna say you love the laser disc, and
Back to the Future on laser.
There it is.
disc.
Back to the Future. We're looking at it
We're
right here.
and here he is peeling off his face.
He was getting a facial.
Cronenberg film now.
Looks great.
I guarantee that just so they didn't have to keep caking on the old age makeup on him for the
When
whole
Yeah.
film.
when did laser discs become a thing?
Mid 80s.
Mid '80s,
I would
that
say
early.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right off
So
the
did
goal.
it predate the CD for music?
Just about the same
I
time.
don't- probably about the same time.
Around the same time.
I mean, it would make sense that they were
Yeah.
about the same time.
Yeah.
I always associate laser discs being like way later.
I never
Like,
caught the Nike logo
Well, I mean,
on the
that,
bag.
it probably had a lot more like cultural penetration in the 90s. I mean, Criterion stuff started. They were doing that stuff early on, so
What a dork.
Yeah. Do you-
I mean, that's like an iPhone he's holding, basically.
there are so many people. Remember when they actually made this shoe, right?
yeah.
They did make it, right, yeah.
Like recently.
Yeah.
Maybe in 2015.
But it didn't fly.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't. No, and it.
I think it was just a limited edition type of thing.
They look comfortable.
I'm sure they were
Not
expensive.
gonna lie, they look pretty comfortable.
Pretty innovative, and kind of a hot property for Nike too,
Yeah.
right? To like get their name on the.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing. Why don't we have that?
Why don't we have that? We could do without that hat, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holographic hat.
You ever seen those cars that have that paint job where it changes based on the color?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
That's super
That's
bizarre.
basically what that hat is.
Yeah, that's.
The Cafe 80s.
I want to. Can we open a Cafe 80s and it can be right next door to the Tilted Fin, which is our 50s cafe. So we'll have a 50s cafe and a Cafe 80s. I need it in my life.
I'm watching the background a lot of the stuff because what does that say? Class of 16? What does that say back there?
It could have been
Class of
because
16.
because it's October of 15.
That's funny. That's
So-
that's a class of 16. maybe no shit. 1916. It's been there forever. No
I
Valley's an
doubt
old
it.
town.
He's older than the building.
USA Today. How?
Cubs sweep series in 5 is in the corner.
Oh God! Don't say it. Did USA Today capitalize on this and put out this newspaper on October 21st of 15? Because
they might have, yeah.
because I think
Man.
that they really should
They
have
really
if they
should.
didn't. I mean, I know that
because even Pepsi did the Pepsi Perfect thing.
correct. So I feel like, has there been any other movie with this many like
Brand tie-ins.
right and references that like kind of came to fruition?
Yeah.
Future retro type
Right.
of thing, yeah.
Right, where actual companies put out stuff based on the movie. But there were so many companies and so many from this movie.
Well, I think today this year Comic-Con is doing a Demolition Man Taco Bell setup.
Yeah, I heard that's happening now.
Okay.
Because in Demolition Man, all restaurants are now Taco Bell, and they serve all these mini fruity little things. There's not like a burrito you can get.
Why is he always late when he drives a time machine? He has a time machine. How is he always late? Doc is like, damn, I'm late. Just set the time difference.
Well, because he had to take extra time to deal with what's her name?
Yeah, but then just go back in that time you just spent. Just to make it up on the
Re-elect Goldie Wilson Jr.
Junior.
How much fun would it have been to dress this set
Oh yeah.
3 different times?
Oh, amazing.
Look at the outfit on the guy across the way there with the yellow thing on his head, with the peach shorts.
I love that they even have the Skyway in the background where you just got all
Oh,
these.
yeah. Yeah, there it is.
Because this is all before digital stuff, so this is like
This
one of those great films at the peak of the optical process quality.
Guys, basically people who dress like this is like Logan Square, Chicago now, to be honest with you.
Yes, this was filmed yesterday.
This is like hip.
Like, if anything has rung true in the 2015 aspect, is I see people dressed like this in Logan Square, Chicago.
Freaking hipsters.
Is Texaco even still a company?
I do not know.
I don't know. Not up here, at least.
I mean, look at that car, it's pretty sexy. And Jaws 19 is really a hilarious...
Looks awful.
And it's directed by Max Spielberg, which...
Is that a tie into something?
No, I don't... Maybe that's just his
son?
kid. Yeah.
I was thinking it's his
And
kid.
I love the tagline. This time it's really, really personal.
And did you see the trailer they put out right before the date of this film? Where they kind of like ran through like every single Jaws sequel, like Jaws in Space.
Oh, right.
Cybernetic Cyborg Jaws or something. It's hilarious.
They chose to go with the 80s. They in 2015, they didn't want to do a 90s cafe or even a 2000, like
Well,
the
it makes-
10s cafe.
Well, it's always
Well,
30...
because the film was made in '89, what else are you gonna?
No, I know. I'm just saying, like,
nothing else would make sense.
Burger
It-
Time, Roger Rabbit,
Robert Ratchet.
Perrier. I mean, all of this is absolutely amazing. Everything is a 30-year cycle for pop culture.
Is it 30 years?
It's 30. Yeah, it's always a
Oh,
30.
that makes sense,
which
yeah.
makes which is why in the 80s the 50s were so trendy.
Ah, it makes
and
sense.
in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
90s the 70s were trendy.
You're right.
Yeah, it's a 30-year flashback cycle.
I
We got Oprah, we got MJ.
And we got Ron Reagan.
I want
I'm a
to-
big 80s guy. Like I go to the Holiday Club in Chicago. It's a big. They have an 80s night every Friday. I'm big into that. I'm a huge 80s pop culture nerd. So
I need to go with
I
you.
love this. Yeah, I love it.
I need. That's hilarious.
In the Max Headroom style.
The 80s are my absolute favorite time
Yeah,
ever.
I love it.
And I also love the 50s.
Same here.
Which
The
is
30-year cycle.
The 30-year cycle.
I'm a big fan of both.
The Ayatollah. The Ayatollah of rock and roller. Yeah, baby.
Oh, was it Pepsi?
There it is.
There's your
Pepsi
branding.
Perfect.
That bottle was pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
I think there's a brand of I've seen some kind of water, bottled water that comes in that same bottle nowadays.
Now, Biff would be like 75.
Looks about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about
Oh,
right.
my dad's 70. He doesn't look
Which
that old.
straight-
Jesus.
Because the weird thing is, you look at how they age up all the characters in the film. It seemed okay for the time, but then you look at them in real time now. It's like they don't look all that much different than they did 25 years
yeah,
ago.
I guess so.
So I mean, Michael J. Fox. I mean, despite his illness, the Parkinson's. I mean, it doesn't look like he's 25 years older than he is here.
Yeah, pretty similar.
Yeah.
Loser with a capital L.
I mean, Tom Wilson's just incredible.
He's great.
He gets everything to do in this film.
He's just such a heel.
I mean, you get more paydays because you play like 9 characters in a movie. Is that a thing?
I wonder that.
Well,
I'm sure you get something.
I'm sure he gets paid more because he's got such a larger role in the film.
Geraldo was on TV back there. I don't know if you caught that.
No.
No, I didn't see that.
And again, you can't even tell this is an optical composite shot here.
No,
It doesn't look grainy. It doesn't look like it's
such a
wavering anything.
It was so awesome
I mean,
at the time.
I think they won the Oscar for visual effects.
I was gonna
this year.
Did they?
There was.
Yeah.
I think they did probably either this or The Abyss.
The
But I think this one just
it was Industrial Light and Magic, right? That like
ILM.
Oh, they're really known to do some good shit.
and this
Second-
was
second.
like their breakthrough
Yeah.
movie.
You
I
can
thought.
see it though. It looks so natural. Look at the background.
Right.
Yeah.
I think. Did you ever play that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did too.
They had it at Little Caesars when I was a kid.
I love it. Oh,
they were nominated for
Look at
the
the
Wheel of Fortune.
yeah. And apparently they didn't win, but they were not nominated for the Oscar for visual effects. I think The Abyss won it.
The Abel. Okay. Tough year.
Probably-
I'm okay with that though.
Probably because a lot of the digital effects work in the film. Probably,
I like Ron and Nancy in the background.
if it wasn't for Abyss, this thing would have.
Tell me is that this right on one of the
Give me a
TVs
Nah.
is Family Ties with Michael J. Fox.
Really?
I'm
That'd be
90% sure that Family
I
Ties
would
is on.
not doubt it for a second.
We can't rewind.
I think I
yeah,
just-
we're
I think I
we're
just saw
live
some
to
Don
tape.
Johnson in Miami Vice.
Yeah,
there.
I saw that.
there on the left is Ricky Dean Logan, who was
Yeah,
in
that's Miami Vice right there. Tubbs.
Freddy's Dead. The map says you're fucked.
Oh, that is him.
That's
God
Ricky
knows.
Dean Logan there on the left.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smurfs are up there.
It was far left, all the way on the left-hand column, I think in the middle. So we're not going to see it from
There's
this angle.
Taxi was on
Yeah,
the bottom
yeah.
right there too.
Yeah.
Dallas. This is a bunch of montage going on back there.
God damn, I even know what episode of Miami Vice that is, for Christ's sake.
And then interestingly, they all changed to menus.
I mean, look at that. I mean, you can't beat that kind of visual effects
Right,
there.
right.
Because it doesn't look like a damn visual effect. This looks like Michael J. Fox got a twin brother.
Right. I never noticed the heads on the wall back there.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
No.
Griff. I love that his name is Griff.
Griff and Biff.
Keep it in the family. But they never showed the in-between point. Who's Griff's dad? Because Biff's his grandfather.
Yeah.
Why was
You
it?
never even see Biff with a wife or
That's what I'm
anything.
saying.
Right.
So where's like the middle point here?
Well, yeah, it was just
Yeah.
never touched on.
They should at least throw that in there somewhere. Like what happened with Griff's father? Like
Cliff? Is it Cliff?
Cliff
Cliff.
Tannen. Where did Cliff Tannen go? There's a pro wrestler now that people call the Biff Tannen of wrestling. His name's Kevin Matthews. He's on Impact Wrestling. He looks just like him. That's the creepy part. And
Really?
he plays like the bully type, and people are like, Jesus Christ, he looks just like Biff Tannen. He looks just like. I mean,
But it's not intentional? Like,
no, not intentional. He just looks like him.
Okay.
He could be. I mean, basically, he's Cliff Tannen. He
They could
be
make part 4 and cast him.
He's perfect for it. Big guy, like it's spot on. There's the hoverboard that people are waiting for. That people call that thing with wheels a hoverboard. That's not a hoverboard.
No.
I hate that got
That's
the
not
name
the real
hoverboard.
thing.
They wasted the name hoverboard on that thing with wheels. It's just controlled by your way you lean.
Yeah.
which is basically a Segway without.
It's a Segway
without a
exactly.
handle.
Without the handle. Exactly. That's not a hoverboard.
No,
Stop calling that a hoverboard.
And the trolling thing they did this time, because they had a behind the scenes featurette, and Zemeckis said, "Oh, well, all the companies had these for years. They just wouldn't let the parents groups wouldn't let them have them. So they
Yeah.
made every kid in America think
I thought so.
these fuckers existed."
It was a talk of my elementary school at the time. We all thought it existed. It was in a warehouse somewhere in L.A.
Right. Yeah, like Area 51 for movie props.
No, they're really there. They're really there. They did some commercial to troll everybody too recently, or a couple years ago with like the hoverboard, and everybody thought, holy shit, it's real, but then it turned out it was just just a visual effects thing.
Yeah. And they're just flying these guys around on wires.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I mean, if there is any digital effects, it's probably just removing wires here and there. That's
my understanding. That was it.
Yeah.
But I imagine this took a hell of a long time to set up
Oh,
and
yeah.
shoot.
Yeah. Bojo. That was Bozo this whole
Bojo.
time.
Nope, Bojo.
It's future slang.
What could that stand for?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Bozo's comic. It's like, hey, you're a clown. Also, another interesting one was when the girl said, "You got no scrote." I was,
You got no
really?
scrotum.
I always thought she said, "You got no stroke."
Nope.
And
It's
she said, "You got no scrote." And then she pokes him in the nuts.
Right, as if you have you got no balls.
ball sack,
Yeah.
right?
Which is kind of clever.
I mean, I guess.
If you're gonna write future slang, you gotta come up with something.
Yeah.
Scrote. This police officer here doesn't look
No,
much.
nobody looks concerned about this.
Yeah, there's a police officer right there on the stairwell.
Barney Fife.
It's a woman. So at least they were futuristic about that.
There we go.
There's a couple of them out there.
See, like just such
They're
an
just standing around pointing.
easy fix here, and
Nah.
boom.
They are really flying.
Oh yeah.
I mean, whoa! What a stunt that was.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty good.
Yeah, us too were saying holy shit.
Even to this day, 30 years later. Buttheads.
And how great is that? Because butthead is totally like a 50s slang.
Yeah.
Oh, look at those police like
Straight out Blade Runner.
motorcycles.
That
yeah.
is pretty cool. I can use that nowadays.
Oh,
well, yeah. Who wouldn't want that? Why don't we have that?
I don't know. I feel like that's not too far off. Like a ventilated jacket, like a jacket that just self-ventilates.
Might as well.
Look at the Slurpee!
Holy mother.
She's got a pit bull now. Look at this guy with the
There
two
you
ties.
go. This, not yet, but it's coming up here in a moment.
He's like, bitch, I already saved that clock tower twice.
How many times do you have to fucking
There
save
you
this
go.
thing?
Go to town.
Oh my god. So, we live in Chicago, and wait, are you a Cubs fan, Trent?
Sox fan.
You're a Sox fan. Okay, so and you too. All right, y'all stay out of this. So, we lived through 108 years of not winning the World Series, and I mean, how ridiculous. They came close. They made the playoffs a few times here and there, but good Lord. When 2014 rolled around, the Cubs actually were kind of getting good, and they may have made the playoffs that year. It was like, oh my God, Back to the Future's coming true. And then 2015 happened, and we made it, I don't know, 6 outs or something from going to the World Series. In which case, it would have been Back to the Future too up in here, and then it wasn't. But to the happiness of everyone everywhere, we did finally win in 2016, and the world rejoiced.
And there you go. Just a year off.
But still, the reason that they picked the Cubs winning the World Series here is because it was such a joke.
Right.
At the time that they made this movie, the Cubs hadn't won the World Series in 90 years or something.
Yeah.
And
70 years.
yeah, so or 80 years or whatever it was.
Something in that range. It's too long.
1908.
Longer than
So-
necessary.
80 years, yeah.
Yeah. So we were really the laughing stock of baseball, which is why that makes this so interesting. I feel like I'm going to wear those plaid pants when I'm old. I really do.
There's nothing wrong with those. Hoverboard rampage.
You did it. You saved it.
He gets his iPhone X out there.
Yeah, that's the one thing that movies never predicted was the phones.
Mm-hmm.
You could, these things do everything in one shot. Now that's the you
Yeah.
could predict that.
I mean, it's a full-on computer that you
is.
carry in your pocket.
Camera, phone.
Right. The closest thing that was ever predicted was like a Palm Pilot or whatnot for like Star Trek. That's about it.
I mean, Doc dresses like my grandpa does in Tampa, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
if Doc Brown doesn't live in
look
Florida.
at that. Is that a train? And
That is
horses?
that's a train and horses.
Oh, there
That's a
you go.
tie into part 3 right there. Look at that, guys.
Never noticed that before.
Never caught that. But this is the stuff we catch now that we've seen
Right.
this 1,000
And I
times.
think he uses part of this shirt as his like scarf in the Old West in the next film.
Really?
I believe
Oh, wow.
so.
Now, the gimmick was that they did film them at the back to
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. That shirt tie-in is fun.
Yeah.
Never got that.
But yeah, because I mean, the first film was never intended as being like sequel bait. It was just kind of a hook of an ending and just let you go off from there. And then Universal just kind of wanted to get a sequel done, so they kind of created so much story they had to make 2 films out of it. So they just decided to split it up and shoot it all at the same time.
Great idea too, with the thumbprints
Yeah.
on your ID. Why don't
Yeah.
we have thumbprints on our
I don't know.
IDs?
This is like such a layup right now. I don't get it. You can never dodge it. You can't change the thumbprint.
Right, you can't fake that.
People fake IDs. You can't fake the thumbprint. Like the other guy, what do you say? Thumb $5 and help save the clock time. We're like, hey,
Right,
that's it. If I thumbed it, you know why I did it.
right. I thumbed it.
The iPhone's got that thing, the thumb ID.
Yeah.
Unlock with the thumb.
Yeah, I have the a Google phone that has a thumb or a
see?
fingerprint unlock.
See?
Yeah,
It works.
it's so genius. Why didn't we ever think to put them on our IDs? The state of Illinois couldn't find. Never mind.
They need to watch this commentary and
Yeah,
pick up some ideas.
Dear state of Illinois,
Mhm.
they're the worst.
The worst.
I mean, they're not like Indiana bad, but
That's 2 shots against Indiana. It's got 1 commentary.
The Skyway is jammed. That's a phrase also commonly heard in Chicago
Yeah.
because we have a Skyway.
Not the cool kind of Skyway, though.
No, definitely not.
Where was this asshole hanging out?
He's plot convenience. He's the Michael Myers of Back to the Future. He's wherever you need him to be at the time.
The Doc Brown invented time machine.
The one thing I haven't thought about this like years ago, but it's like recently. It's like, okay, so the Doc and Marty go to the future, but the future continues to unfold as if they never went to the future, as if they stayed in the past the whole time.
Wait, what?
Yeah, wait. Say that again.
Give me some years.
We got some.
Well,
dead,
no, I'm saying
we got some dead air here.
if you remove Marty from 1985, shouldn't the entire future progress as if Marty never continued on from 1985? He disappeared from timeline. As if he because we're looking at a future where Marty just continues on with his life and everything.
Yeah.
But if Marty gets in the time machine in 1985, goes to the future, shouldn't that be the future where Marty doesn't exist for the last 30 years?
In theory.
Because also, this Marty has no knowledge of anything that Marty does in this future timeline.
It's an interesting point that you bring up.
break it down for me again while we have all dead.
Okay,
cells
so
here.
let me see if I can explain it. Maybe
Yeah.
I can, then you tell me if I'm misunderstanding you. Marty, at the end of part 1,
Yes.
in 1985, gets in the time machine
Right.
and flies away to the future.
Right.
That removes him from 1985.
Right.
1986 continues,
Yeah.
but he's not there because he got in a time machine in 1985.
And is it now in 2015?
Right. So,
Interesting. Yeah.
therefore, these two don't get married
Ah.
because they're not around in 1980.
In fact, neither one of them exist. They're both in the time machine. Go to 2015. The entire 30 years technically should unfold where they're not present for the events of the previous 30 years.
Oh, that's right. But no, don't they go back?
She
No,
got
they-
no-
Right, but
Yeah.
as this series
Right,
tends
but-
to show, it's like
At this point,
time.
they haven't gone back yet.
Oh, so
time-
yeah, this shouldn't exist.
Right.
Right, because
But then they go back later, and then they fix all this. Now it exists.
Right.
That's what happens.
Right, it's a little.
It's taking
The
into
screenplay's
account.
a little convoluted.
Yeah.
This is taking into account the circular the fact that they go back and fix it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Right.
then end up in
That's-
85 and live.
Right. That's the thing. So that circular is
Right.
what saves the whole thing.
But we'll get to a deleted portion of a scene here later on that will be tie into that.
He's got his nice Bret Hart sunglasses
Yeah,
here.
those are definitely some original, the silver ones they had in
Yeah.
the old days, in like the '87 era.
Right.
And we should talk a little bit about Crispin Glover not being in the film.
I love this idea, too, of project what you want to see
Yeah.
out the window. Why don't we have that?
Yeah.
I've said that
Oh,
5
wow.
times now.
Yeah.
Why don't we have
the why don't we have that tallies at least at 5 right
That
now.
needs to go into the description of the video here. It's just me. Why don't we have that?
But yeah, no.
Yeah, Crispin Glover, not in the film.
Yeah, because apparently from what he has said, which contradicts what the filmmakers say, so he apparently wasn't going to be paid as much as his returning co-stars, such as Leah Thompson and Thomas Wilson and whatnot, so he didn't want to come back because he felt he was not going to be paid as much for the same amount of work as they were going to be doing in what they had for the script form at the time. So he bowed out. They got Jeffrey Wiseman to come in with all this makeup and flip him upside down so no one can recognize it's not the same actor, and then write him out from the rest of the film, aside from the footage they used from the first film,
In the beginning, right?
which ends up changing the SAG rules that whenever you use
Archival.
footage, you have to pay royalties to the
Right, because
original actor.
very famously, did he or did he not sue the movie studio
Yeah.
for
Like, you didn't
rights,
get my permission to use this footage.
right, his likeness, right.
Yeah.
So you can thank, McFly
Mm-hmm.
for, changing the royalty laws.
Structures of
Yeah.
the Screen Actors Guild.
I like that it's been noted twice that this is a rough neighborhood. Like, be careful, old timers, it's a rough neighborhood. And then the cop earlier was like, nothing but a breeding ground for
Hilldale.
zipperheads and hobos and whatever.
Yeah. Strange light fixtures on the ceiling there. Like this cross
They
pass
didn't
thing.
predict LED lights at this
No.
point. They're all fluorescents.
Yeah.
They did predict 55-inch TVs,
Oh,
though.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Widescreen.
Flat screen.
Yeah.
Did you look at that one ad in the corner of the TV? It said the inflatable tit. That's what it said.
Really?
Yeah, look at it. The headlight tit. That's what it is.
Well, that TV is kind of like watching WCW World War III.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? There's like 3 different camera angles at one time.
Lithium mode on. Damn kids.
Yeah, but you can see what's happening on that screen
Yeah.
way better than you could see anything from
Oh,
WCW.
Yeah. I've tried watching the paper. It's like, I have no clue.
And every year, the new World War III would come out, and I'd be like, man, I'm so excited for this big thing. And then I would watch it, and I'd be like,
Disaster.
why am I watching this?
Disaster to try to film the
But
whole
then the
thing.
next year would come, and I'd go, I'm so excited again.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
The address of suck.
Right.
Suckers.
Right, it was supposed to be
The
success.
address of success.
But suckers, yeah.
I get he just steals the goddamn time machine.
How do you know how to work it?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. That was
Yeah.
that was a bit of a weird thing. Like you knew
Obviously, he didn't hear, because...
but he knew how to work
You
the
can't
time
drive with
circuits
the
and
crap,
stuff.
but
Like he was able to pull off the time circuits. Like, come on, that was a little odd. Like he never looked at this thing before.
Yeah. Getting a little contrived.
Well, a little contrived.
God, the
love
product-
that.
The product placements in this movie are nuts.
This is
Black
probably why
and
they
Decker.
paid for a
The
lot.
hydrator.
Pizza Hut,
This freaking-
Slurpee.
How much?
Pizza was a big time because they were selling the odd-shaped futuristic sunglasses with that when you bought a pizza.
How great is that?
That's fantastic. I actually have I have 2 pairs of the crazy sunglasses that Pizza Hut did in the promotion in 1980.
Remember
89.
back when Pizza Hut was good?
Oh,
Like back
Pizza,
then?
Pizza Hut was the shit.
It
back
was
then, yeah.
it was amazing.
Funny enough, my mom still loves Pizza Hut.
Somebody's got to.
It's cheap.
Look at the double tie. The double tie on Jay Fox there.
Double ties are
Yeah.
great.
Don't get that. Don't get that style.
The makeup on Thompson looks terrible.
Hmm.
Dance for you.
I mean, that's pretty cool. There was an article, I think, in...
There we go.
Douglas J. Needles.
Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, it is Flea.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him with
Yeah.
clothes on.
Look at all the information.
A dick hanging around,
Yeah.
blowing in the breeze.
There was an article circa 2015 that was like 10 things that Back to the Future predicted correctly.
Video conferencing.
And yeah, this was one of them.
It still looks like analog video.
The flat screens and the video phone calls were two of them.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the rest of them were.
Jogging, slam ball, tennis, politics, none. I like that. Like giving you everything about the guy. While
Right.
Talking.
Tail of the tape almost,
Yeah.
really. I just like that his name's Needles.
Yeah.
Needles. Up close, that makeup doesn't hold up very well.
You know what? It doesn't look as bad as some of the other ones, though.
No, but you definitely see the limitation of it.
He doesn't like fish or Thai music. But he likes scotch and beer.
What is the...
AT&T.
What was he
Yeah.
doing, though? I wish they explained it more.
Occupation. Supervisor. That's so great. I do kind of wish that we had these, on the video phone call, just random facts
Video
about the
features.
person you're talking to.
I would love it.
Like, you'd have to set up your own account. Like, you'd have to
Yeah,
answer
yeah.
a bunch of questions.
Oh yeah, just like set up like your
Almost
own
like a
profile.
dating profile,
Basically.
yeah.
Set up profile, and then as I'm talking, you're getting all the information about the guy. You're
Facts.
AT&T.
Look at that, it's regular Steve Austin.
Yeah. I wish they told exactly what the issue was. What were they doing? Like,
Yeah.
what was the scam they were pulling there?
Yeah, it's more just to set up the whole thing of Marty not being called chicken or whatnot. That's really all it is.
Yeah.
Right, the whole running gag that's been going for 60 years now.
Well, no, because there was none of that in the first film, really. That's something developed for the sequels.
I swear that there
The
was
only
some...
thing they have in the first film is just him being afraid of failure.
Yeah.
I swear there was a scene in the diner when they called him a chicken or yellow.
No, that's the beginning of this film.
No,
Cafe 80s.
it had to have been in the last film.
No, because in the last film he trips up Biff and then goes and decks him and then runs out.
But Biff calls him a chicken first.
I don't remember that. Sorry.
In this one or
No, in the
last-
first one.
he calls him a chicken. I
And-
remember here. Let's see. In the diner, right?
In the diner. And that's when he, hulks up.
I'm sure I remember now.
I don't.
I should know this. Damn it.
I'm 90% confident of this.
He looks so beat up, taking that trip.
Well, because there's a deleted piece of footage here where Biff fades out of existence because the changes he makes in the timeline result in I can't remember the character names. Lorraine murders him in the past,
Oh.
and
the
that's
reason, huh?
that's one of the things where I'm talking about is like if you were to remove these characters from 1985, they should be erased from future existence. Because
Oh.
this Biff gets killed in the past because of the changes he made to the timeline.
That makes sense.
Which is only part of the deleted footage, but I still think that would have been a great thing to keep
Well,
in
yeah,
here.
like this makes no sense not right now.
Yeah. There's supposed to be another shot after this where he just fades out of existence like Marty was doing in the first film.
Like, yeah, I was wondering
Would have
what
been
is
a
the issue
great
there?
dramatic hook. What the hell did he do?
Yeah. Like, why is he, essentially dying right now?
Yeah. And I didn't even know that because until they were doing a behind-the-scenes thing for, I think, the third film, hosted by Kirk Cameron at the time, but they showed the deleted footage of it.
He made a comment there about the Old West, and I didn't catch what it was.
Yeah. And just a dream that he had to kind of,
Okay.
his
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
kind of time period or something like that.
Steve's right. There is a chicken reference in part one. I'm just not placing it right now. But yeah, there is some because we knew that going into this one that he has a weird thing about being called chicken.
Or yellow or something.
Yeah. Yellow.
Is it
I think
yellow?
it was yellow. Yeah. No, yellow's in part 3.
Okay.
That when the guy's like, that's such a Western thing. Yeah,
Oh, you're yellow
for the rest of your days. That's what he says to him in part 3.
Mhm.
It was just a dream. Did the dog go with?
The dog
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
there.
the dog was there. Where... Well, okay. I don't want to get into the
Nope.
existentialism of animals, but...
You're the Doc.
Mhm.
Where put these bars in?
Mhm.
Oh,
my
boy.
God.
Yeah.
The Lion Estates are really I've seen some better times.
Yeah, this is...
First, everything's for sale under Biff's Realty. Did you see that?
I didn't notice.
Yeah, it's Biff's Realty.
Of course it is.
Hasn't hit him yet. The place looks like a dump.
Mhm.
I think I would recognize
Yeah.
pretty immediately that...
That my neighborhood doesn't
Something's
look the
not
same.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I just found a little curious that, not nitpick or anything, but no, because you go
Why be afraid now?
whenever Doc wants current day Doc is going back to the original time period, he goes back like 12 hours later, stuff like that, where everything in the first one is like bringing back the exact moment he left or something.
I think it was to try to just
Whenever-
maintain
yeah.
continuity.
Well, no, I'm just saying, it's like whenever Doc goes back, it's like we're not taking it back to the exact minute we left 1985 again. We're gonna go back like 12, 18 hours later.
Yeah.
So Marty's been gone all day long with his car in the garage. So it's like, where did Marty go?
Why does this crime scene still exist?
Look at the neighborhood.
I mean,
see, Biff's,
yeah, but
Biff's
Yeah.
Realty.
But it's a cop car. Like,
Even the cops don't want to go to this neighborhood.
No, it's a demilitarized
That's
zone.
still that one's still on fire.
the... Chalk outline. Is there...
Then there's a blood spatter there
Right.
too. Jesus Christ. That's pretty dark for this movie.
Yeah.
That girl in whose bedroom he just climbed into, she really liked Michael Jackson a lot.
Yeah.
She did. You know what I said? The Thriller poster was on the outside of the door, like the one that faces the hallway.
This is great. Apparently there's a deleted special effects shot where Marty looks at the burned down schoolhouse or something before this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, this has got to be the best part of the whole alternate 1985 coming up here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my birthday again.
There we go.
This is great. Look at like the belt of
He's
bullets.
he's like Rambo.
Yeah.
It's got the Kevlar.
He's now his character from Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
But he's got the scar on his face.
Oh, I never even noticed that. I never watched the HD version to know that. Hey, Strickland!
Hey, Strickland! Da, 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 da.
I want to see this movie where Strickland's in this fucking gang war with these dudes.
They just drive by at his house.
That house is fucked. Look at it.
Look at it.
I want
Jeez.
to see Strickland in a Death Wish movie now. He's the new Paul Creasy.
Yes.
Paul Kersey.
Hell Valley.
And we got some Sammy Hagar. Pre Van Halen.
That's the guy that guarded the
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz castle, right?
Crazy.
In the Emerald City?
Biff Tannen's Pleasure Paradise.
How come nobody's made this? Like, how come this isn't a theme park attraction?
It's Atlantic City is what it looks like.
Oh, well, okay.
Trump
He's
Plaza.
Trump. He's Donald Trump.
Biff
Trump
Tannen-
Plaza.
Biff Tannen is
WrestleMania
Donald
4.
Trump.
WrestleMania 5, 1989. Trump Plaza.
Trump Plaza. And 5. Wasn't 5 the same place?
Yeah, that's what I said. It was 5.
Which
yeah.
technically wasn't actually Trump Plaza.
Yeah, Titania, you're right. Sorry. 4 and 5 are the same place.
Right.
Yeah.
It was called Trump Plaza, but it wasn't actually Trump Plaza. Trump Plaza was next door.
He was in the front row, though, both shows,
yeah.
so. Toxic waste reclamation plant. I always love, like, the raining down lights.
I do love a casino.
Yeah.
I do love casinos.
The Biff Tannen Museum.
Like he's lighting a cigar with like $100 bills.
Yeah, there's just
Can you imagine how this would fuck with your head if this was really you?
Yeah. Again, there's just a lot of deleted scenes in this film.
God, I'd love to have them all inserted. That'd be great.
Yeah, because again, there's another deleted scene where Marty encounters his brother here at the foot of the steps, and he's homeless, begging for cash.
Fastest gun in the
That would be
West.
great,
There's
too.
another throwback there, or
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
what do you call it?
A
Foreshadow.
Which strange that he looks nothing like he does in the next film.
Yeah.
And in the photograph, he's this big grizzly beard and everything. It looks nothing like him.
Biffco! I need a Biffco t-shirt. I really do.
He legalized gambling.
This is a good way to get exposition
Yeah.
into a script
Yeah.
and not have it seem completely ridiculous.
Marilyn Monroe.
Check that suit.
Oh boy.
Just swallowing her face.
Yeah. These three.
Oh, yeah.
They have a very Elvis like thing with him, you know, like the way they shot it was very Elvis like. His like henchmen here, Elvis had that posse he always ran with, like from his beginning days till the end, and even like some of the hairstyle, like the way they shot us, there's a lot of Elvis influence in that, in like the Biff life story, like even some of the pictures from the 50s and 60s leading to the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen very similar Elvis retrospectives that look just like that.
It's interesting in this film how they take all the things that are familiar from the first film and just kind of twist them around a little bit like this.
Yeah.
Prosthetic boobs are better than some other professional boob jobs.
Yeah, hers are pretty good.
That dress, though.
It's it's like a Katie Seagal, a Bundy
Yeah, there you go.
outfit. Forget names all over the place. Peggy Bundy. There we go. It's a good day.
That's all right.
Names today.
That's all right. It's fine. The production design is out of control on this movie.
He's a butthead. Look at the porn sitting on the...
Black Taboo! Black Taboo! Did you ever have that one?
No, I never had that one.
No, I didn't either. That large clamshell VHS tape.
But I will now. I wonder what the taboo part of it is. The black aspect is the taboo part? Boy, something else going on in that movie.
I need to know if Black Taboo is a real porn.
What a stepfather.
I just can't get over the decorations
the
here.
Zebra carpet.
Very that overindulged 1980s thing.
I mean, it really does feel like, a Vegas suite lounge.
Especially with the art on the walls with the naked chicks.
The gold and the purple.
It's just tacky enough.
Yeah. Some slot machines over there.
Gaudy. It's just weird. It's like you have slot machines in your place where you're just gonna sit there and put your money into your own slot machine.
just to see how you do.
Well, for guests, you know,
guests.
you invite them into your home and then you take their money.
I'm sure he has them rigged where you can never win.
Just so angry and rich. Yeah, that's it. Just the whole look is like very much like they call Elvis's the Memphis Mafia, and that's how he rolled his crew, and it's just very similar to Biff. She's a drunk.
Absolutely, she is. He's trying to get a look at some of these booze bottles here. I don't know if they're fake or if those are real brands. I'm not a drinker really, so. Everything else in this movie is a real brand, so I figured.
Yeah.
You know, why not?
Yeah.
Well, the booze is all real. I can see some.
Well, like Ushers. I've never heard of Ushers.
What's that? Sal's. I've seen that. I saw Beefeater over there.
The Beefeater I know.
Jim Beam, J&B. Yeah, there's some brand names.
But they didn't get the treatment like AT&T
No.
or Pepsi or Pizza Hut got.
They got a little bit of a visual. That's all.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Look at this unkept cemetery.
Yeah, this is a horror movie right here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just such an interesting thing for a sequel to... I mean, a lot of sequels go dark. But you kind of start the film off kind of bright and kind of fun or whatnot. Then the thing just goes right down into the thick
it's...
thick of midnight here.
I actually remember, renting... I didn't see it in the theater. I remember renting it, though, as a kid.
What I want to remember actually seeing in the theater was the third one.
I saw
At
both
the
2 and
time.
3 in the theater, yeah.
April 1st of 38. So that does make him almost 80.
He's 80 years old now.
In...
He's exactly 80 this year.
Yeah, April 1st. April Fool's. He turned 80. Which made him, 77-ish or so when they went to the future. March 15th of 73.
Yeah.
Long before any of us. Oh, murdered.
Yeah.
Sure.
See, I'd like to see what the original script was when they still had George in more of the film to see what his role would have been in this part of the movie. So I don't see it working any other way than having Biff murder him to get all this other, get Lorraine and everything. Because I know the original idea was him when they go back further in time. It was supposed to be the '60s, so they would have had a completely new dynamic going on.
Yeah.
But other than that, I always figured that they killed him off in this timeline because they didn't have Crispin. So I don't know
Guess that makes sense.
what they would have done otherwise in this version of 1985.
Here's your breakdown.
Yeah. God, I love stuff like this.
Yeah.
There's a whole I believe in the bonus footage they break down the timeline, right? They like how they had to like really make sure they got this tight.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I remember seeing that on this, how they had to really tighten this part up. There was something that they had missed something really major at one point.
Reality for everyone else. The one where Marty
So yeah,
and Elisabeth Shue weren't in.
right. And then it kind of makes another thing is like, is there another Marty McFly somewhere else in this timeline? So
Well, he's supposed to be in Switzerland. That's what he said.
right. Because then if this Marty and the other Marty continue on this timeline, so then it gets really, really weird.
Yeah.
This is why we don't have time machines.
Right.
Yes.
Because you'd have all sorts of screwed up reality.
We would destroy the fabric of the universe about a nanosecond.
Basically, only one person can own a time machine. Because everybody owned a time machine, we'd screw up everybody's timeline. Everything would be fucked.
And that should be Jean-Claude Van Damme, so we have Time Cop.
Can you imagine you're just going along in life and then all of a sudden everything around you just changes because somebody went back in time and
oh, man.
did something?
No more iPhone? What the hell?
Well, I mean, all of a sudden your neighborhood goes to shit.
Yeah. Or like, Back to the Future never exists. Something crazy. Like we'd be having this scene right now and all of a sudden it's like, He disappears like, ah, man, Scott went back to the
Right,
times.
I was never born.
Yeah.
And you two are just sitting here.
Yeah.
What happened?
Is he still wearing the same shirt? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's all in the past.
Mhm.
What a great line. You're right. Only one person can have one.
Only one person can
Yeah.
have one. You can only trust one person. Like and you have to pay it and be like, hey, I need you to go back and tell Owen Hart to not be the blue blazer that day. Things
Right.
like that. Like
Yeah.
I need that to be fixed. Please, here's $1,000. I'll go with you. I'll tell him.
$1,000.
whatever he would charge for, like, you know, Mr. Fusion costs.
Well, here's $1,000 now. Go back to 1999. Put it in a savings account so you can get some interest off it.
See, the thing is, there has to be a rule. You can't use it for money, because then you fuck everything up. You can't use it for a financial gain. It has to be to prevent problems, or like give yourself advice. Like, don't date that chick from reception because she's gonna fucking break your heart and ruin your life. And okay, good, thanks. And I save myself, and who knows? Now I might have, I had a great life.
But then we create time paradoxes, you know.
That's okay, because I really wish I'd never dated that chick from reception.
Well, then you just destroyed the universe for that. There we
The
go.
Old West reference.
He loves the Old West. There's that ridiculous noise that I absolutely hate.
Yep.
Anytime anybody fires a gun.
I believe this movie's called My Name is Trinity. I believe that's what it's called.
A fistful of dollars.
Is Fistful of Dollars? I thought it was
Yeah.
My Name is Trinity.
This is Fistful of Dollars.
Is it?
I've seen a Fistful of Dollars.
Really? I could have sworn it was something else.
No.
They all run together to me. I'm a John Wayne guy. I'm not so much an Eastwood guy.
Yeah, I'm not much of a Westerns guy.
I love Westerns, but I'm like a John Wayne Western.
I like more of the modern Westerns, like Tombstone.
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. Some of the modern ones are great. But if we're going to go back and watch old school, like, I watched Bonanza with my grandfather, and it was great. His makeup looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That lamp does not look great.
It's kind of funny how Biff's voice changes depending on how good or bad his past turns out. Because at the end of the first film, I was like, oh, hi, Marty. Oh.
Yeah.
Now he's like, evil motherfucker. Gravelly
That's
voice,
funny.
son of a bitch.
I don't know if I ever put that together.
That just hit me right now.
He does kind of look like Trump in that portrait.
Yeah.
Look at all the leopard print. Where is that even? Just look at all this gaudy crap.
I think it's...
Imagine being part of the art department on these scenes, man.
Yeah, just
I rolled into a
Find the
drag
most
racer.
eyesore-inducing shit and throw it in the movie.
I guarantee you somebody has that tiger striped chair and they're like, man, this is the greatest chair I've ever owned.
Spielberg probably has it in his office. Yes.
Mr. Spielberg, you can take one prop from this whole movie. What are you taking? I want that tiger chair.
Damn straight.
I wonder where the magazine is now. The All Sports Almanac.
It's probably in like a museum or
It's gotta
something.
be. It's
Well,
Universal
There's so
Studios.
many different, like movie prop places, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's such an important plot point. This particular,
I'm sure it was in like Planet Hollywood at some point.
oh, I remember when that was a thing. Guy's got a lot of lemons back there at the bar. I can't imagine you using that many lemons.
Not
Like if that was a bowl of
not
limes,
freshly
maybe.
anyway.
but-
No.
What are you doing with lemons?
I'd like one of those Biff matchbooks right there, guys. Going back to the matchbooks.
There we go.
And I'm pretty sure hydrangeas don't come in fuchsia. I would take a Biff matchbook.
See, I never made the connection, but I think that's Marty's driving thing in this moment to grab the matchbook is thinking I'm going to go back and burn that thing. I think that's exactly what it is. I never made that connection.
He's going to burn the
before.
book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why he grabs the matchbook.
considering how much, weird continuity and circular logic there is, they did a pretty good job with creating a storyline.
They sure did.
About you had to go back because now he's got to go back to 55.
You got to go back all 60 years. Or first went forward 30, now it's back 30.
The entire narrative spans 60 years.
There's 60 years
right,
of narrative,
and then you got to go back 30 to correct everything so that you get back to the 85 you started with. I think that's pretty kind of ingenious.
Yeah. And again, it creates a little bit of something for Marty because he feels responsible for it because he gave Biff the entire idea for it. So it's not just correcting the timeline, but owning up to a little bit of responsibility on that end, realizing that if Marty went back and went through with his idea of just kind of cashing on this whole thing, he might have ruined his own future in a different way. He wouldn't have become as bad as Biff, but he could have been a much different person if he went back and made such a drastic alteration in his fortunes.
Yeah, and I think they do a pretty good job of him realizing that.
Yeah.
Lead poisoning. His makeup is really good here.
Yeah.
He plays a really good, just like nut job, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the full range of everything he has to play throughout all these films. He does such an amazing job of it.
Yeah, he's really like the best actor.
Yeah, he's given the most to work with of anyone, because Biff changes, and then you have Griff, and then you have Mad Dog 10. He's got to play so many different versions of one character and so many different things all together.
Right, he plays 3 different Biffs.
Yeah. Original Biff, 50s Biff, future Biff, this Biff.
Yeah.
That's 4 Biffs.
Oh, he's fantastic.
4 Biffs, a Griff, and a
Mad Dog.
And a Mad Dog.
His career should have been a lot bigger than it was, man. I feel like he was a good actor.
Yeah. Again, a really good piece of optical effects work here.
Yeah.
All right, we got to go back. Here we go.
Just zipping through awesome time periods. Never touched in the 70s, though. It would have been nice if they made a little pit stop.
Disco Biff.
There's the another foreshadow.
Yeah. This movie, because they filmed them back to back. I think they prepared for the foreshadowing. They like really went at it.
Because like I said, I mean, they originally intended everything for one film with the Old West stuff, but I felt like there's just too much story here for one movie, so they just split it up.
This was released in 89, filmed in 88, right?
Yeah, they're
correct.
Filmed in 88, released in 89.
Then they filmed 3 in 89.
And then released in 90.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
but the scripts were presented as two films.
Yeah.
Like at the same, they wrote them together.
Yeah.
Live in the home of tomorrow. Today. There's the ice.
The address of suckers, not success.
But there wasn't ice when they came back to 85.
Left the doors open.
Young Biff. At this point, it's not young Biff. It's just Biff.
Yeah, right now it's just Biff.
Well, from their perspective, he is young.
Oh, wait, no. Because old Biff is there,
He's
right?
there
Old Biff is there. 80-year-old Biff.
Well, what if they talk about 85 Biff? Which Biff is that? It's not young Biff. It's not old Biff. It's just regular Biff.
That's right. Yeah. Just Biff.
Present Biff.
JB. But those walkie-talkies are from 1985. And
this is the first time Doc's in 55, though. He didn't go to 55 last time.
He didn't go back.
Travel back now. It's like this is a great way to do a nice exposition, but you're doing a comedy beat at the same time. To have him running around like that keeps it interesting.
There's 3 of him here.
3 who?
Michael J. Fox's. Aren't there?
No, why would there be?
Yeah. No, there's 2. There's this one who went back, And there's the one from part 1 who's floating around because the lightning's gonna strike tonight.
Oh, that's right. Because he didn't exist in a yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was getting him confused with his dad.
Gertrude Tannen.
He looks so young here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like actual actor, you know.
Hey, he looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up, you old bag. I use that to this day. After hearing this movie. Shut up, you old bag. I don't think he was such a bully.
What is he wearing, McFly?
Blues Brothers outfit. Almost.
I wonder how many takes that took for him to throw it up on the roof like that.
Perfectly. He was such a prick. Another set dress here.
There's a Zales. Jewelers.
Man, early.
He looks like a secret agent or something.
We didn't get the town square in New 85, right?
Right.
No,
So-
we did. That's
No,
where
we
Biff's casino is.
Yeah, that's the casino is what the clock tower.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. But that I don't think they used the same set for that. did
No,
they?
probably not. But the idea is that's the old he turned the clock tower
Okay.
into the casino.
Okay. But it doesn't. Yeah, I just feel like it doesn't look like this. So.
Mhm.
Old Biff. Ow. And right in the scrot. I just thought it would be interesting to dress this set, you know,
Yeah.
3 times for one movie.
Oh, jeez. He really has a good, like, 50s look going on here.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think the 50s suits him the best.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And the 60s thing would have been interesting, but it also comes to a point where it's like you get so much exposition of just the time travel mechanics, then you have to go back to a different time period, reintroduce all the characters, find out what they're doing at this point in time, 10 years after the first film, like 63, 65, whatever it is,
It's
and
so much
set them
easier.
up all over again.
So much easier to
Yeah,
just go
halfway
back.
through the film, you have to reintroduce the characters yet again, so...
Oh, and how brilliant is Calvin Klein to get marketing
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
even having product placement in this one?
Yeah. He just...
They
It
got
was on his underwear, remember?
well, yeah, but that was the first movie.
Yeah.
Like we haven't seen Calvin Klein underwear in
It's true.
here.
Yeah.
That was, I wonder, did they pay royalties for that?
Maybe.
Was the McFly, the Crispin Glover rule in effect for the marketing of Calvin Klein? You feel like he wouldn't recognize that it's
His
him?
own fucking face. Yeah. I just love the young one's reaction. Like, oh, jeez. Look, this looks so natural.
Yeah.
It really does. Like, I've always been really intrigued by, scenes where the same actor
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
because they can, now it's so different. But, back then there would be scenes where they would, like, hug each other.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah,
man,
good.
how'd they do that?
Because to bring up Van Damme again, he did Double Impact where he plays twins.
Yeah.
And the point where I turned the film off is this horrendous visual effect where it's so obvious that the other Van Damme has been optically composited into the scene right next to it. It looked awful. That film's like a year or two after this. But I'm sure they didn't have the $40 million in industrial light magic to work with to make it happen.
Isn't it interesting that that book has 30 years of, or 40 years,
50 years,
50 years of,
half a century.
It's like seemingly 38 pages.
Right? Yeah, it's so tiny, and it's got apparently every college game in it that's ever happened.
Every pro game, probably.
Every horse race.
Whatever has every WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Including...
They had no idea that WrestleMania was going to be a thing, though.
No, they would at this point.
They would have 89.
85
Well,
even. It started in 84.
Vance McManus was only a 7-year-old kid at this time, or an 8-year-old kid at this time.
Oh, no, but I mean, the book's published in 2000.
Right. But
I'm just saying.
When they made the movie in 89, they would have known that WrestleMania was a thing.
Yeah.
So,
Wonder if they include the Hogan, Yokozuna, and Mania 9 screenshot.
You can never see that one coming.
Never see that one coming. Like, how can I bet on Hogan to win the title? He's not even the fucking match. Because Hogan's at the pay-per-view, and he's going to win the title.
Yeah, it's all over.
Oh,
Well, you know.
That's just us goofing around.
Steve's at a loss for words.
I am.
Usually he's pretty talkative
I'm
here.
sorry.
That's like the most dead air we've had.
You threw me on that one.
Stuck in his garage.
There's a bowling bag there.
You can hotwire the car and just barrel through.
Fly the DeLorean.
Fly DeLorean around in 1955
Yeah.
broad daylight. There you go. Doc's got enough sense.
There we go. He's got the book with him.
It's a weird thing that struck me is like none of these characters have even eaten anything all day.
That's true. Well, he probably had dinner. He went inside.
Well, yeah, he's.
Where'd the old man
No, I'm
go?
talking like Marty.
No, there's two.
and Doc.
That means there's 2 DeLoreans here too.
Yeah.
Because old Biff flew a DeLorean back to give him that book. So there's another DeLorean floating around. Where did he hide that DeLorean?
That's a great point, TZ.
Where the fuck is that DeLorean?
And if you take this from the perspective of if all this kind of stuff happens at the third film, there's 4 DeLoreans here from the first film. You've got this DeLorean that Marty and Doc take. Yeah. You've got Biff's future DeLorean. And then you've got the DeLorean from the Old West.
Right. So, part 1's DeLorean is in his workshop.
Well, yeah.
Under the covers. Like being hidden.
More or less. At this
Part
point,
one, yes.
they're setting up for the...
And then this one is now behind the billboard. There's no talk whatsoever about what...
The one Biff stole.
Yeah. By this time, you pretty much say he's already gone back to the future and faded.
But where the fuck was that DeLorean the whole time where he's like in the town square like, get in, kid. Where'd you hide that DeLorean?
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't walk 5 miles into town like
Doc's hiding
Marty and Doc.
on the outskirts of town. And then, what, Biff just has a place to put it?
I don't know.
Well, that was just earlier this day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So... It's in. There's that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're late enough in town now. The dance has already happened.
We need to get Bob
dance
Gale on the phone.
It's going on
here.
right now.
Yeah.
The dance is happening right now.
We need Bob Gale on the phone to say, hey, wait a minute. Where was the future DeLorean hidden? He's going to tell us to stick it. Yeah, you fucking nerds.
See,
we ask the important questions here on this.
You gotta try doing this, Trent, because we need another live texting thing
Oh,
for
yeah.
the commentary.
I don't know if my sister has access to Bob Gale.
Let's see if he's on Twitter, and you never know.
That's true. Let's see if he's on Twitter. While we're talking here, live going on to Twitter during this broadcast here. We are live.
So these 2 gentlemen are only standing about 30 feet apart.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me that he doesn't recognize his own voice?
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
I will say that
There's a statement that Bob Gale recently made about how Biff Tannen was based on Donald Trump.
do not see that
Watch
he's
part
on
2
Twitter.
again. When Marty confronts Biff in his office, there's a huge portrait of Biff behind the wall, on the wall behind Biff. And there's one moment where Biff kind of stands up and takes exactly the same pose of the portrait. Yes. Of course, in the movie, Biff uses the profits from his 27-story casino, the Trump Plaza Hotel, completed in 1984. It's 37 floors, by the way, to help shake up the Republican Party. This is ridiculous. Before eventually assuming political power himself, helping transform Hill Valley, California into a lawless dystopian wasteland where hooliganism reigns, dissent is squashed, and wherein Biff encourages every citizen to call him America's greatest living folk hero. Yeah, says Bob Gill. That's what we were thinking about. That's fantastic. He's not on Twitter, though.
No, neither him or Zemeckis apparently are on Twitter. We can't ask him any damn questions.
We'll never know.
We got to get a hold of somebody.
See if Tom Wilson's on Twitter.
I think he is, actually.
I mean...
We need answers, damn it.
Oh, enchantment out of the sea. Let's see if our mannequin is hanging from the ceiling. Maybe they forgot that detail. And there's some more Crispin Glover that they didn't pay him for.
Tom Wilson is on Twitter.
Ask him, where the fuck did you hide that
So
guy?
is Jeffrey Wiseman. Look at that. On Twitter it comes up, suggestions, Jeffrey Wiseman followed by Crispin Glover.
Amazing.
Hey, at least they're friends. You should tweet.
I'm following them both now.
Early times.
And Claudia Wells is on there.
Ooh la la. You should tweet Biff and ask him.
Can we get
where
a
did
tweet?
you hide it?
Yeah.
Just ask him, where did you hide the 2015 DeLorean when you went to give young Biff the Almanac? Let's see if he has to answer this question.
Give me a moment. Talk.
All right, we're watching Enchantment Out of the Sea right now.
There's Strickland looking the same. He looked the same in 55 as he did in 85.
I couldn't tell if he gained weight or if they just put all that Kevlar on him to make him,
Kevlar, I think he said bulletproof vests and whatnot. Where's that punk Calvin Klein?
Okay, so this is now the second reference to Calvin Klein without Calvin Klein even having a visual. That's unbelievable. And I want one of those cars. I don't even care which one. Give me any of them.
Remember in the Karate Kid, he gave him his pick of 1950s hot rods like this. Remember? And when he asked him to wax off all the cars, and he's like, "Choose your car." You need that. So you need a Mr. Miyagi who owns a bunch of cars for no reason.
Yeah. Just to give me one?
Just to give you one. So
I don't know the first thing about cars, but I always thought it'd be kind of cool to get one of these old cars and restore it, even though I have no idea how to go about doing that.
Just pay somebody to do it.
Well, then that's not doing it.
But then
I'm already paying for the car. Why wouldn't I just pay for a good car then?
It's true, but you need one of those. He's looking at the Ooh La La porn mag.
Oh. I thought he was reading the sports almanac. That's in his pocket. I see. I mean, I guess given the choice between the almanac and the Ooh La La.
Yes, we do Ooh La La. What are you going to read about when Notre Dame beat Northwestern in 1962? That's what's in that almanac.
Right. How about the very first Super Bowl that hasn't happened, that they don't know about yet? Won by the Green Bay Packers. Thank you very much. Sports statistic. So at no point does Strickland notice that, this goes all the way to 2000.
2000.
$50.
Give me my book back.
So, strange alternate version where Strickland becomes Donald Trump.
Becomes like the fucking man. Multi-gazillionaire.
He still calls everyone slackers.
So, you've been on social media, you appear to be done, Nick. Did you produce a tweet to...
Well, I tweeted, it might take a few things. The last tweet was 4 days ago.
Well,
so
no, I'm just wondering...
It'd be great if he just decided to go on right now.
But a tweet has been composed and sent to Biff asking where he hid the 2015 DeLorean in 1985. Okay.
And I said, thank you, we love your work. Just so he knows we're not just pestering him to be silly.
Just a dick, yeah.
His name tag said SS Strickland Discipline. Did you see that?
No. I like a man who drinks out of a coffee mug, even if it's not coffee. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, Mr. Strickland.
The bell.
Yeah,
Old people love bells.
they do.
Like my grandma's got a bell. Why? Why do you need a bell?
Just to call to attention. Why did he hide the coffee? Oh, it was
Oh, because it's alcohol,
Alcohol,
right? Yeah.
Well, you're going to be able to tell that by looking at it.
There's supposed to be he's supposed to be supervising a dance right now. Like, wouldn't you just take your coffee mug into the gym and stand there with?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody would know.
They always spike the punch, we know that. Why? That's great acting.
That is.
God, that would have hurt so bad.
Yes. I can't imagine him being silent. I've smashed my hand before. It
hurts.
It hurts. Although the last time I smashed my hand, it actually took my breath away and I couldn't say anything. So maybe that is accurate.
That could be.
Ooh la la.
So that means that Biff was reading the sports almanac.
Yeah. No, he showed him looking at the ooh la la. That's what I can't figure out.
Well, because he probably took the jacket off it to make sure no one thought he was looking at girly pictures in public.
No, it didn't make sense because he had the almanac with the jacket on in the back pocket.
Either that, or when Strickland came up, he went behind his back, switched him, so it wouldn't.
That could be because they showed it up from up here, and he turned around.
Yeah, so he might have done that. This is great framing. I love that. Nice split diopter lens they use on this thing to get the foreground background focus going. And the shot's far enough away you can use the stunt double for Crispin.
There it is. The deck heard around the world.
And that was from the first film.
Insert the original one in.
And then the hand that hunched over Crispin Glover. Young Marty.
Slightly younger Marty.
85A Marty as opposed to 85B Marty.
24 hours younger Marty.
24, right. Yeah, he is younger. That's so weird.
She's such a shallow bitch, though. Like, all it took was him just, like, hitting Biff. Like, she was all over fucking Calvin Klein.
Right.
You know, like, just because he was, like, the cool new kid.
Right.
Because she saw him in his underwear.
Right, and the second that McFly goes underground, she's jumping in with a rich guy.
What a little skank, man.
Yeah, dude.
Lorraine Baines McFly was a little skank.
Lorraine's a whore.
Oh, that hurt.
Ow.
Punch in the face and hit the concrete, man. That's not fun. I'm a little hard pressed to think those like $10 Radio Shack walkie talkies work over like a 5-mile
8 miles,
distance.
yeah. They don't.
You'd have to have one of those like big military beasts that weighs like 30 fucking pounds or something.
Yeah.
Are those the same actors from?
Yeah,
same guys.
Okay.
Same guys. One of them is Billy Zane.
The other one's
Oh, that's right.
Casey
He's a
Zemeckis.
cowboy guy.
Casey Zemeckis, the other one.
Uh-oh. 1885.
I love the tie-in of the banner that got caught. How it like falls out of the sky after he gets transported out or teleported away, I should say.
God, I love Earth Angel. Not so much this version.
This version's not bad though.
It's not,
Yeah.
but What a great song. I love the 50s.
It took me years to catch the Marvin Berry, Chuck Berry.
You said that. I still can't fathom.
I can't believe that. I to this day, it bothers me that it took me like to my adult years to catch it. Like, wait a minute. That's what he was trying to say. Something that really cooks. I like how they had the other alternate camera shots. Like, we didn't get this camera angle, from...
Right, I assume they reshot it.
You think they reshot it,
yeah,
though? They redressed all this to reshoot that?
Well, because, I mean, they've end up having the composite shot of Marty in the catwalk while younger Marty is down here playing it, so they had to reshoot all
They had to reshoot it all, yeah. It's a lot of dedication. It's the same amount of dedication to detail that we talked about in the first one, about all the little things that just come back and how it's so perfect.
Such perfect. This is such a perfect series. I love how good this series is.
And it's a lot like our Lethal Weapon commentaries. Like, you had the same people involved from the start to finish on this thing.
On the back end. The writing and the producing and the directing and the...
Yeah. Everyone was crafting the story and executing it on screen and everything. Same DP, same director, same writers, same producers, probably the same editor, same visual effects guys.
There's our third Calvin Klein reference.
This is a nice reaction coming up from him. It's like,
Not
pretty
bad.
good. It was
Not
actually
bad.
pretty good. Again, it's hard to fathom. It's like, for this Marty, it's like, again, it's only like 24 hours ago all this shit happened.
Yeah.
He's had like one night of sleep, and he's gone through like 3 different time periods.
It's crazy to think, though.
Yeah, he just did this yesterday.
Yeah.
I just did this yesterday.
And that's what Doc says in that little running back and forth thing. Is like, you were here yesterday, Marty. You were. It's like, it's such a head trip.
God, that would trip me out.
Yeah.
Marvin Berry.
I like when they saw him on stage and they ran into the gym. They're like, "How did he get on stage? How did he change his clothes so fast?"
Well, these composite shots are a little bit off.
Yeah, I can see it.
You can see the blue screen coming through.
Slightly.
The black level is a little off.
There's an odd one where the composite shot's off in the. I don't know if you guys caught it. I don't know why this was even used as one, but like when old Biff gives young Biff the Almanac and he throws it, he's like, "Okay, fine," and it looks so fake going again.
Yeah, well,
I don't know why that was even like. Why was that even a thing? I know it's supposed to land on old Biff's lap. I get that, but like you didn't have to. You could have actually tossed the book. It would have been fine.
I think it probably just high rate of motion couldn't quite nail it because
the worst one for me so far was when Biff, when 2015 Biff is leaving the wreckage and he flies away and he hits like the trash and all the trash falls in the street. That looked really fake to me.
Yeah.
Like
there's a few rough spots. Maybe that's why they didn't
win.
Get over top of Abyss.
But still, I mean,
for 98% of it, it looks really impressive for an optical effects driven.
For the 1980s,
picture.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm still just not over the whole like cutting out that scene where Biff's like seemingly dying, no explanation.
Yeah, I think it would have given the film a little bit of dramatic gravitas.
So what was it that the old Biff was back there and Lorraine tried killing him?
Well, because the explanation given by the filmmakers was that because the changes he makes in the timeline and kills George and forcibly marries her and everything, at some point between 85 and 2015, Lorraine was going to murder Biff.
I see.
So then when he comes back to his native timeline, he fades away because he no longer exists.
But then, if that was the case, then there shouldn't have been a Griff either then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It would have eliminated.
It should have created some kind of paradox in that moment in time if that were the case, because it unravels the entire reason why these guys went to the future, but now the entire future's been changed, so it gets really convoluted with that.
Ow.
But the thing is, like, the film is so fast paced that it's taken us this long to really kind of just all these years for us to kind of deconstruct the film in a certain way. It's like you're sitting in the theater in 85, 89. None of this stuff is really coming to your mind. You're just absorbing it because the film keeps going by so fast. You really don't have time to just sit there and contemplate what's going on.
Yeah, you go, oh, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Right. And again, we're talking about a scene that was deleted from the film, which no one would have known of until a few years after this.
There's so many great, like that last scene there, where the camera goes up, and it, it broadens the scope of the scene from just like two people in close up to the whole parking lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a Spielberg thing or whatever, Zemeckis thing, but it's I don't know. It's like such a cool thing that he can take just a little thing and then
small intimate moment and
blow it up
to the wider scope of everything.
And it makes you really kind of go, gee, they put a lot of work into this. Because it's one thing to cut to a
wider another shot somewhere, but
right?
They get a nice crane shot there and kind of pull it back and open it up. It takes a lot of skill and a lot of vision for it.
It's a pretty slick scene here.
Yeah.
Now, realistically, how fast are they actually going filming this scene?
20.
Oh, 20 some odd miles per hour. Usually, whenever you see shots like this, whatnot, the cars are really just being pulled on a trailer.
Right. You can tell that
actors are not driving the cars. It's all controlled.
You can tell that the DeLorean was definitely on some trailer.
You know how you know that they're not actually driving? Because nobody looks at the fucking road. Everybody's looking at the passenger seat.
Yeah.
It drives me insane. It's one of my serious hot button issues. Anytime there's two people in a car, the driver's always looking at the passenger.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Except in my movies where I actually have to have the actor driving the car
well,
while they're
that's a little
delivering his
different.
lines.
Yeah.
So, not much of a choice. As realistic as it gets.
He's like, shit, this boat really works. See, that would never work now, because then the damn cars are beeping as soon as the doors open.
Right.
Ding, ding, ding.
He's not wearing a seatbelt either.
I mean, they automatically lock when we shift into gear.
Oh, it's a perfect shot. The way it just landed right.
Yeah.
I just love how chaotically he speaks. Like, God. He's just so, like, off the freaking wall, man. It's like he's always, like, coked out, but he's not.
That's just his personality. Can you imagine him on the coke?
Right, exactly.
Surprised there wasn't any cocaine in Alternate 1985.
Oh,
I'm sure there
should have
was.
There
been.
had to have been.
I'm sure there were.
Should have been like a Tony Montana pile of coke on it.
There should have been a punch bowl full of it in the office. Scraping up his brand new.
The matchbooks were actually made out of cocaine. Compressed. So that thing you were reading earlier, Trent, about Donald Trump, that was one of the people involved in the film said that?
Bob Gale, the writer.
Okay.
That was his quote.
And that was an actual thing, right? That wasn't, okay.
That was an actual thing. So, I mean, Trump was at his
well, I guess what I'm saying is there was a quote. It wasn't a now quote about, you can make the comparison.
No. He was saying we were thinking about Trump at the time. Because he was the Trump Tower, the Plaza and all. Yeah,
sure.
He was at his peak in 1988 here.
I was thinking back, and I was trying to clarify if that was a then quote or a now quote.
No, it was. It was a quote now about then.
About then.
About
right,
then, yeah.
right. But I mean, it wasn't like a hindsight quote.
Right, no.
Now, if they based him on Vince McMahon, we'd have a very different movie.
Well,
God damn it.
See, look at this car's only going like 15 miles an hour.
There's no way. He's not going to overtake him in about 5
46 Ford,
seconds.
which should be flying right now. There should be no way a hoverboard's outrunning him.
Yeah, you would have to get the drift board from the future that has the rockets on it.
Did he get the book? Oh, he did get the book.
Yeah, 'cause he flipped over the
flipped over,
windshield.
That's right.
And he hits the manure.
What was that manure truck there?
Just sitting around.
No, I thought it was driving.
No, it was just
It was
parked there.
parked?
It was parked.
It's been parked there.
Oh, I thought it. No.
It was parked. It was just sitting there. It's a shit truck just sitting there. It's interesting to think that the same thunderstorm that caused the clock
Lightning.
tower and the
Yeah.
lightning for everything else plays a part in this now
Yeah.
too. Here to send him back to the 1800s.
Yeah.
Coming in part 3. That's interesting. I never thought about that. The same thunderstorm had two
Yeah.
different big effects.
Yeah.
Or now that this one has happened, does that eliminate the first one? Does it not actually hit the clock tower?
No, you get
It
lightning
does,
other
because
places.
we see that.
Contrary to popular belief, thunder doesn't only happen when it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
Very profound.
And there it goes. It's over.
R.I.P.
You look a little like Mick Fleetwood, you know.
Do I? Am I getting there?
Once you get all gray, you'll look a lot
Yeah.
more like
You
him.
actually, you might have something here.
Yeah, and there's the matchbook tie-in.
I'm not as coked out as Mick Fleetwood, though. Like, look at some of those old album covers, and he's just like, we're making a record.
He's a wacky dude, man.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's so cool.
It's a nice uptick for the ending of the film here.
That's so good.
Commended. The mayor's office. It turns
Civics
out.
Award.
I mean, that's so crazy. Ruh-roh.
Just land the damn car.
He's trying to, but the weather's keeping him from landing.
And now there's a tree in the road.
I always love that expression. I almost bought the farm. Like, where did that originate? Like, what does that even mean?
No idea. Oh, apparently the idea there is that when the lightning strikes it because you see that kind of backwards
Yeah, yeah.
loop, it apparently accelerated the car to 88 miles per hour. That's why the flux capacitor gets ignited when the
Well,
lightning
you
strikes.
need 88 miles an hour to get enough energy.
Right.
So the lightning just takes the place of.
Of the 88 miles an hour.
right.
No,
Of the
because
conductor
in the
energy.
first film he had to be up to 88 miles per hour for the lightning to strike to send him back in time.
Oh yeah.
So the idea is that the lightning strikes it hyper accelerates the car, charges it up, and then sends it back.
As opposed to like when the plutonium was around. The plutonium is the...
Right, because
The energy.
plutonium was what they didn't have in the first one. They didn't have the fuel
Right.
to ignite the time, the flux capacitor all the way.
Well, it's kind of weird to think. Let's break this down a second here. In part 1, he still said, I have to get it to 88 miles an hour, regardless of anything.
Yeah.
Even with the plutonium.
Yeah.
Second movie, no plutonium, 88 miles an hour, but the lightning had to hit it to conduct the energy.
Right, because at least...
So is the 88 miles an hour really that crucial, or is it the energy?
I don't know.
Steve, what your
I think it's the energy.
the
I
energy.
always thought it was the energy.
So the mileage has been bullshit this whole time.
Mm.
The plutonium's the energy. The lightning is the energy. The lightning is the energy here.
Because even in the third film, they have to get it up to 88 miles per hour for it to work.
And in this one, they don't because it's flying.
Because in the third film, they don't have any gasoline for the
But
car.
they push it with the rail.
Yeah.
thing. But
it has to get
but
up to
is
speed.
it an energy conduction? Like is
I
88
think
miles
that's
an hour
the thing.
like conducting all that power grid that it creates when it shoots off?
Right.
Remember?
In the first one, it needs the plutonium in order to send you through time. But now they have the Mr. Fusion, and just the lightning supposedly is what just accelerates the car out of control to send it back without Doc being able to do anything about it.
I'm confused.
We're gonna take this one offline. Hashtag offline.
But this is such a nice idea. It's like the instant Doc gets sent back through time.
He's timed it. Yeah.
We've immediately altered timeline where this guy is bringing the letter from 70 years ago.
I don't think I ever realized that was what's his name from SCTV.
Is it? Who is it?
Why can't I think of his name? Yeah, very clever idea here.
Why could use the guy to let him sit in his car and read the fucking letter?
Yeah, right. Agent. Why can't I think of this guy's name?
I don't know. I don't know this. I've seen him in anything else.
Yeah,
Great moment here.
him and Dave Thomas and Rick Moranis and like all those guys and John Candy.
Yeah, that was just a great moment there where Marty says, "There's only one man who can help me," and you can look back, cut it right to 8:55 Doc.
Back to the stock footage here of from part one.
Yeah, and probably for this too. Apparently, when they did the DVDs, they went back to the original negative of the first film instead of like reprinting again from the sequel. They went back to the original negative and put this tag back into the film, so they weren't like losing generations of quality with it.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the lightning is what kicked it into gear.
Yeah.
The mileage doesn't mean shit. I think we've just debunked
Well,
something.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
Because I mean, when he's accelerating up there, when he starts to hit 88, the thing starts sparking off. But there's the plutonium is what opens up the time portal or whatnot.
So then what opens up time portal without the plutonium? The sparking up is the energy, right? It's almost like those things that you like spin that knob and it like conducts the little energy and you light up the light bulb kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're doing.
Well, also because I mean, when you have in the first film when they're in the parking lot, you still have to get up to 88 miles per hour regardless of that, because if you don't do that, it doesn't go anywhere.
Or it could be that 88 is like the peak speed to conduct the right amount of energy.
Either way.
The conductor aspect of it. Get Bob Gill on the line right now. Get him on the horn, as they say. This was great. I remember watching this. I love it where he sends him back and immediately he's like turning around. He's walking to his car. He's like, "Yeah, I did it." And all of a sudden it's Doc. He's like, "What?"
It's a very interesting way to end it.
I mean, I think I did see this in a theater because I remember seeing this theatrically. Just
same here.
This
I remember
tag at the end.
And it blew my mind because I was like, "They already have it done." I remember thinking like I couldn't believe it was already ready to go. That part 3 is like filmed, and I was like, "Where is it then?" I was
Right.
like,
How come we're not watching it right now? Like immediately after the second one.
I mean, it's interesting thing to do because I mean, obviously sequels typically didn't come out this quickly after the film, so people probably think, "Oh, we're gonna have to wait another 2 or 3 years to find out what goes on or whatnot." So I can understand why they put this at the end of the film, but also kind of dampens kind of the hook ending of the second film.
I agree. Yeah, it threw me off. I'm surprised I left it on the Blu-ray here. Oh, they even
Summer 1990. So
I watched it that August. I'll never forget.
Marlene McFly. Michael J. Fox also played. Joe Flaherty. That's his name.
Okay.
Joe
He's
Flaherty.
been in a bunch of shit though. I've seen Joe Flaherty in a bunch of side small roles, right?
Yeah. The Sesame Street movie, Follow That Bird.
That's right.
It was him and Dave Thomas who capture the Big Bird and paint him blue.
That's so torturous. You'd have PETA going on these days. You'd have.
It's so sad. I love Follow That Bird.
It's so protesting a Big Bird movie.
It is. He was a big blue bird. Flaherty. Yeah, the SCTV. It was really good stuff. Canadian Saturday Night Live.
Basically, that's what it was. Canadian Saturday Night Live.
Great stuff. I highly recommend it if you're not familiar. Check out SCTV.
I believe the whole series is on DVD. I believe.
I do have a couple of them. I don't have all of them.
Remember when they released them a few years back?
Oh, it's been more than a few.
Yeah,
it's been like 15.
Yeah.
In retrospect, it's kind of interesting with this one because you had the first and third movies had the big soundtrack song.
Yes.
Power of Love, and then Double Back from ZZ Top. This one didn't. This one has got a lot of pop music in it, but there's not like a big original song that they marketed around.
You're right. There really wasn't.
There's not even Huey Lewis anywhere in this film.
No, but Calvin Klein made 3 appearances.
without having to show a single product.
Right. I still can't get over that. But yeah, I guess there was more of a score to this one that was the catchy hook. But...
Yeah. What do you guys think about Part 2 in general?
I love I think Part 2
stacks up between the first film.
It's so innovative and so creative in so many ways. For the time, remember in 1989, 88, 89, watching this, this was like everything we wanted to happen in real life. This was the Jetsons come to life.
Yeah.
And it was like, we kept thinking, I remember being a kid thinking, that's what's going to look like. In 2015, I'm going to have a flying car.
Me too. I thought the same thing.
I feel like these movies are so important to kids like our generation because it kind of helped you believe and use your imagination and it kind of give you something to look forward to and move your mind on. These are really this was a really important movie for me as a kid.
I never, as a kid, I didn't really like this one and the third one as much as the first one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I always rented the first one more than I ever did these, so I've got a disproportionate love for the first one. But every time I watch 2 and 3, I always remember liking them. Yeah. But every time I watch them, I feel like I like them more. I definitely feel like it. As you were saying earlier, Trent, about the perfectness of a trilogy, it really is a perfect trilogy. Yeah. Usually you can point to one of the 3 and go, "Oh, there's Ricky Dean Logan, my guy from Freddy's Dead." You can point to one and say, oh, this is definitely the weak link of the 3.
Yeah.
And, maybe if we have a sleepover and we rent them, we've only got time to watch 2, we'll skip that one.
Yeah.
We're not skipping one of these.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. You really can't.
It's funny, as a kid, the Old West was kind of a dry thing as a kid. You're like, it's like... And I think it is the least favorite one if you have to rank them. But as an adult, you realize how important the Old West was to the history of this country and everything.
Right.
That's why it's important.
Because I have kind of a breakdown with the sequels, because Part 2 has all the urgency the first film has.
It was Family Ties, by the way.
I thought so.
Yeah. But yeah, Part 2 has all the urgency and the pacing that the first film had, because we mentioned in the first commentary it had such a lean pace kept going on. I don't think it has as much heart as the first film, but I think Part 3 makes up for all the heart the second one doesn't quite have time to elaborate on. The
first film Part 3's got a good script. Part 3's got a really good narrative and script to it, for sure.
Why do I have to look at fucking E.T. every time God, I hate E.T.
Now, I'm on this too. I feel E.T. was really overrated.
Way overrated.
Okay, I have not met somebody who has agreed with me on this.
We're shaking it.
That E.T. was overrated as I feel it was. I feel it's
you mentioned this at the end of some other commentary
extremely
recently.
Overrated movie, man. It's not shitty. It's just god damn it. It's not the timepiece movie of the decade.
God damn it.
We talked about at the end of our Thing commentary for Mr. John Carpenter, because
I'm glad. I've never met. Everybody gives me shit about that.
It was E.T. was one of the it was the highest grossing movie of all time in this time period. Mm-hmm. Coincidentally, I want to say that Back to the Future 2 was one of the highest grossing movies of 1989.
Yes, it was.
I don't know what was number 1, but I don't think it was this one.
Indiana
but...
Jones and the Last Crusade was number 1, I think, followed by Batman.
Oh,
Batman.
that makes sense. Batman.
So this was, I think, it was definitely in the top 5 of the highest grossing.
It might have been just third behind those two.
Yeah.
But either way, this was fun.
A lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to coming back and, doing part 3 at some point here.
Yeah.
It's going to be good times.
All right, guys. So thanks for listening and enjoying, and we'll be back around soon.
See ya.
Bye.